Imagine that you're a new dad. Everything should be perfect. But alongside your joy and happiness, you're stressed and you're worried about different aspects of being a father. And there's no one you feel you can share your anxiety with. It wouldn't feel great, would it? I know how it feels because this was my own personal experience. And it turns out that many other dads have exactly the same problem. And the good news is that I and some others have found a solution. My name is Jack Woodhams, and alongside three of my closest friends, Mike, Dan and Matty, we've established 2 community groups here in York, England. These are called Yorkey Dads and Menfulness. They aim to improve men's mental health and well-being. And you know what? It is working. These volunteer and community-led grassroots groups are designed to support men who are struggling. We found a significant way to open up communication channels and to break down barriers for men to talk about the problems without stigma or judgment. Now, it's worked for me. It's working for hundreds of men in York. And I believe this could work anywhere in the world if it's needed. My awareness of this need came from personal experience. I went for 11 years without talking to anyone about my mental health issues. To the outside world, I was the life and the soul of the party. But inside, I felt weak, worthless, a bit of a fraud. So Yorkey Dads was actually born through struggles with my own mental health. 8 years ago, I was expecting my first child. I felt all the natural pre-baby feelings, excited, nervous, happy. New dads aren't supposed to feel lonely, lost, isolated, but that's exactly how I felt. And I wasn't sharing it. I found that parents and child groups were in fact for mums. As a dad, I was the only man in the room, scared I was doing it wrong and feeling judged. I thought to myself, wouldn't it be great if there was a place I could go to hang out and chat openly about my feelings? I knew some other dads who felt the same. And we established a Facebook group to provide a safe place for men to have a proper conversation without stigma or fear of rejection. We started a dad and child Sunday morning breakfast club so we can meet in person as well. And what started as a handful of dads is now 1,000 dads from all different backgrounds, cultures, economic situations and social classes, often sleepy, facing challenges dads who need support and friendship. Some wanted fitness more than breakfast, so we did both. We set up a kids and dads fitness class. We had football, running and cycling, and a kids and dads Lego group. And later, 3 paediatric first aid courses. We became a bit famous because of the Yorkey Dads Hair School. With the help from a hair professional, dads would meet up and learn to plait their daughter's hair. This was a wonderful project that got media attention from all around the world. Now, if you're thinking, how did the leaders organise all of this? The answer is, we don't. Our role was to help and facilitate. If someone wanted to get something going and it was in line with our values, we would support them. Maybe a bit like this, the way that TED supports TEDx events, but it doesn't organise the events themselves. Now, it doesn't matter what the project is. That's irrelevant. Each group creates an environment, being it the garden, football or breakfast, where dads feel comfortable, welcome and valued, where they can talk. As we grew, men who weren't dads started asking about our activities. And the challenges men face are not limited to those who have children. And that's when we came up with the idea of Menfulness for all men, not just dads. And Menfulness works in a very similar way, providing a community and activities with opportunities for support. Our goal is to prevent men from reaching crisis point and maybe becoming a suicide statistic. In an environment to open up, whether it's in person or through our social media groups, we offer similar activities, fitness and community gardens, chilled out football, cycling, running, weekly walking and talk groups. We even have a WhatsApp poetry group. The impact of what we are doing is changing and saving lives. In the UK, 79% of all suicides are men. In 2019, we saw a 2-decade peak in male suicide. It's now 2020, we're facing a global pandemic, adding more pressure on everyone. Waiting lists for mental health services in the UK are really long, and I've heard it's the same in Poland. When someone reaches crisis point, they need help right away. So in partnership with a local counselling service, we are offering affordable, but in most cases, free counselling sessions within 24 hours, utilising the skills of third-year university counselling students. For a man who is admitting for the first time that he's got a problem, it's critical that support is there right away. There is a cost for running some of our activities, but by UK standard, it's low, £100 for 4 counselling sessions. We raise money through our volunteers to pay for the counselling, but overall, our activities are fueled by people power, not cash. All our events are free or inexpensive. We don't want finances to stop anyone coming. We take donations, and if people can't pay, it doesn't matter. You know, we do not need some money to sustain all our activities, but we get support from businesses or other people or professionals who want to help. More support is always welcome. Some people say stats are boring, but we are proud of them. The Menfulness Facebook group has over 300 engaged men, and Yorkie Dads have 1,000 dads. The meetup group has 250 men, and now we are featured on every doctor's surgery notice board in York. We have held more than 50 breakfast clubs, 1,200 dads and 2,500 kids, over 30 Lego clubs, 750 dads and 1,000 kids, 36 of our now world famous hair school classes. Huge shout out to Maria from Pretty Plats, with 432 dads learning hair skills and bonding with their daughters. We've had 5 kids and dads gym clubs attended by 30 dads and their children. Now, we've trained over 500 parents in paediatric first aid. Amazing. We've done 12 walk and talks, 5 weekly social football sessions, 7 allotment gardening meetups, and social circuits we've attended by over 750 men. And many more have taken part in our running and cycling groups on Strava. Now, the impact of these activities on men from Menfulness Dads and Yorkie Dads, their kids and their partners is what matters. Messages like this: cheers for accepting me into the group, looking forward to getting involved. My doctor suggested I come along. Our values and culture are a key part of what we do. We say it's okay to be vulnerable, to share failures and challenges. It's okay to be scared and admit that you're not coping. We are supportive and welcoming. When someone joins and posts about parenting or other challenges, they get non-judgmental, empathetic love and support from all the other members right away. We are against macho lad culture and toxic masculinity. We are fighting a legacy of thousands of years that men have been taught not to cry, have been told to man up and to bury their feelings. It's so damaging to teach boys that they should conceal their fears, worries, and their weaknesses. At Yorkie Dads and Menfulness, our values are: you are not alone, don't man up, and we rise by lifting others. And we're not anti-women, but we know that sometimes men don't feel like they can open up to their parents or loved ones in the same way as to maybe other men and if it wasn't for the mums, wives and partners nudging our members to come along, we certainly wouldn't be half the group we are today. So those partners and women's support is really critical to what we're doing. And, you know, although many of our members are straight, we have plenty of gay members as well. We welcome any dad, any man who shares our open, inclusive culture. Being tolerant is part of a civilised society. But back to the impact. A 19-year-old dad joined our Facebook group and said that as a new young dad, he felt he had lost all his friends, as none of them had children. And within minutes on the Facebook group, he received a barrage of support from dads who made him feel welcome and showed him empathy and kindness. Older dads said that they had felt the same way when they were his age. He realised he wasn't alone, and he came to the next breakfast club. And now, a few years on, he helps and supports the other younger dads. And it's really lovely to see. Another dad told us really sadly about losing his wife in childbirth 2 years before. His post read simply, "Hey guys, not really being active in this group. Still coming to terms with losing my wife 2 years ago, but keen to get involved somehow." And he was met with warmth, kindness and love. Dads offering a hand or to meet up or to talk. Another dad who had lost his wife 15 years prior said, "I know what you're going through, I'll PM you, let's meet up." It still gives me goosebumps. A man had opened up about his own tragedy, got all this support, and found someone in his own city, in York City, who had the same problem. And you know what we say, we can't solve all your issues, but you don't have to face them alone. And that's very true. And one member in Menfulness contacted me. His life was spiraling downwards. He had broken up from his wife, had family relationship and work issues. He was in tears and he was pretty desperate. He needed urgent support. And I was able to arrange a free counselling session for the next day and told him to come and meet me at the community garden. And I'm not a counsellor, and I can just be his friend. His life 6 months on, it's still not sorted, but he's come to terms with it. And he said he would love to get involved with the football. And Mike, one of the co-founders, said, "Well, better than that, Jack, let's get him to run it." And now he's running it. We are empowering people, sharing the workload and letting them contribute value and belief in themselves and each other. Now, putting it into practice requires effort and dedication from me and others. We call these people doers. It's incredibly rewarding, and while it's not complicated, it's really hard work. It's fueled by a deep passion of 4 guys with first-hand experience of dealing with these issues, knowing what works and the difference it can make. We share the leadership of each new specialist interest group by empowering the members who want to run the activities, and they can be in charge with them. Not only does it give them confidence, building the ownership and responsibility, it also means I can show up to the activity and benefit from it as just a Menfulness or Yorkey Dads member. We are changing and sometimes saving lives from this simple idea of giving men a safe place where they can talk openly about their challenges. We know we won't stop men from reaching crisis point, but if they do get there, we can help them find people, friends like ourselves and activities where they are comfortable to talk to. It was vital for me, and I know how valuable it is to others. To conclude, other places are contacting us, interested in setting up similar projects. If you or someone you know needs a place or a project like Yorkey Dads and Menfulness in your area, tell them to look into what we are doing. Perhaps something like this could work in your town, village or your country. York is not the only place in the world where an idea like this can be implemented with love and commitment and at very little cost. It could change the lives of men, their families and their friends for better. That is an idea worth spreading.